Meanwhile, inside now, name-calling, rumors, threats, or is this a day on the playground or is it a day on the campaign trail? Many parents are wondering what to tell their kids about some of the nastiness in the presidential race. Dr. Deborah Gilboa, a family physician and mother of four, has some timely advice. Dr. G, good morning to you. Good to see you.
Good morning.
I like talking to my kids about politics, not the minutia, but the kind of relevance of it. And I have to be honest with you, I found myself staying away from the conversation a bit because of what's been going on.
But actually, it's a great opportunity. I don't know about in your house, but I find most often when I'm talking to my kids about behavior I don't admire, I'm talking about their behavior or their friends, which makes me angry and them defensive. This is a chance for us to talk to them about issues, about behaviors, about things that are important to us as a family.
Let's set some ground rules. And what age group are we talking about? I mean, we're not talking again about the nuts and bolts of politics. We're talking about the basics. What age should we start?
You can start in preschool. Preschoolers love the idea of picking and choice. I hope you'll take even your preschoolers to the polls with you.
What about the actual campaigns themselves? If they're in the room when coverage of campaign events
and it's hard to
comes on and it's hard to avoid and they hear some of the names being used out there by the candidates, what do we stop them in their tracks and say, let me explain what you're hearing?
I think that's a great idea. And kids like co-viewing with us and getting to voice their own opinion and say, oh, is that why you say, for example, that insulting or lying is bad? Because it doesn't look good, and now I don't think that person would be great at their job.
And they're going to raise their hand. They're going to say, Mom or Dad, you tell me not to use those exact same words when I'm referring to my brother or sister or my friends on the playground. How do these people get away with it?
And so I think it's great to point out that bad behavior doesn't end on the playground or in the bedroom with your sibling, and to say, now you tell me, what does that make you think about that person? Do you admire that?
There's one other step we should take, and I don't want to go too far into this, but on some occasions, if your children are in the room watching the news, political news with you, they have seen actual violence at events. A guy get punched, something like that. Where do you go about starting that discussion?
I would ask my kids and have asked my kids, so if you were in that situation, how would you handle it?
And what would a 5, 6, 7-year-old say?
5, 6, 7-year-olds usually will give you back your own rules. They would say, oh, you shouldn't use your hands. But an older kid, my 11-year-old or my 14-year-old, is likely to say, I think you can't go tell a teacher in this case. Do you have to push back? What do you do?
And without supporting or endorsing any particular candidate here, I do think parents can use John Kasich's line, which is, I'm not going to take the low road to the highest office in the land. As a parent, I have used that, and I think it works.
That feels really admirable. I agree. Listen, I just think that this is the silver lining of seeing things we don't like on the campaign trail. Is it's a great conversation starter at home.
One other thing, oftentimes my kids will come home when they're younger and they'll say, I'm for X candidate, or I'm for Y candidate. They have no idea why.
I'm dressing up as them at school.
Exactly. They have no idea why. Should you try to bring out of them facts and reasoning behind their proclamations?
I think every time we ask our kids to think about why they're making a choice, any choice, we make them stronger citizens. So it's a great chance, especially if we know they can't vote. We don't have to get too worried about what their choice is now. We can instead have a really meaningful conversation.
You see, so all is not lost.
It's not lost.
Good. It's a good opportunity. Okay. Dr. G, thank you very much. And by the way, she's got more on our website, today.com.